Good evening. I will call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion, please, to approve tonight's agenda. Shelley and Paul, any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Pullen to present tonight's presentation.
Thank you, Mrs. Collier. I'm going to ask Mrs. Sinclair and Mr. Flaherty to kind of introduce the four seniors that are accompanying them tonight. What's in front of the Board of Education is a proposal for a senior trip. And while we realize the timing is a little less than ideal with respect to a grand scheme plan, the senior class is deserving of an opportunity to, spend some quality time together, and they have an experience that the group has come up with their class advisors, Mr. Flaherty and Mr. Grasso. And I believe that Ms. Sinclair is actually going to highlight her camping skills on this potential trip. So they're going to present to you, and I don't know if the seniors are doing all the speaking or if you and Mr. Flaherty are going to walk, but students have that if you're ready.
Thank you for having us tonight. Before we get started, I would just like to highlight a few of the things. So our vision and mission states that we want to develop our students and have them have experiences and engage in learning. And what better way to experience this by planning and leading a trip? Some of our best learning happens outside of the classroom. So I will let them do the introductions, and so you can see what we're planning.
Hi, I'm Ellie Bassel. I was here like a month ago, so.
Hi, I'm Ryan Whistler.
Hi, I'm Lily Stubbe. Hi, my name is Cora Hafner. Okay, so first I want to talk about the process of how we've gotten to the class of 2024 trip. We thought this would be a great opportunity to build connections, like right before graduation, one last hurrah. We were supposed to have an 8th grade honors trip. Unfortunately, COVID kind of ruined that, and it was just kind of a bummer that we were in the class. We did the fundraising, we had the planning, we never got to go on our trip. So we thought if we brought this into senior year, that was something that we could look forward to. So the process of creating the senior trip, we put out surveys to the class of 2024. We said we had a couple options for locations, we had a couple options for dates, and we talked about costs. We wanted to keep it affordable, and we wanted to do some fundraising to work towards that. We have $300 is the most we said that we'd be willing to spend per person, and we expect to be under that with all the fundraising we've been working hard on doing. We decided some survey, we got great feedback on where people wanted to go, and we ended up that we thought camping trip would be a great option. It's local, it's something that being in a small town, a lot of us grew up camping, and who doesn't want to go camping with the friends that they grew up with their whole life? Once we created this, we presented the location, what we wanted to do, the cost. We talked to Ms. Sinclair about it. We got obviously Mr. Flaherty's support. She's behind us. And then we presented it to Mr. Pullen. Mr. Pullen has some great feedback, and he was in full support of it. So now we're here with that.
We held a class meeting with all of the full senior class to tell them all of the information about the senior trip, and had the informational letters sent home to the family and with those students so they could get it signed saying that they were interested in the senior trip. And we sent out a parent square of seniors as well. Okay. Our next steps, we are here to present to the Board of Education for proposal and approval. Our next steps would be an informational parent and student meeting to review it, held with all of the senior class and their parents. We would need to go over a healthcare plan, medical forms for like allergies and other medical things, departure protocols and bag searches, roommate selection, evening protocols, insurance waivers, other safety protocols we might need, and then any additional fundraising held to maybe lower the cost of the trip.
So everybody seems to know the information except for you guys, so we're going to go over some of the details of what will be happening. So what we'll be doing is we're calling it an outdoor educational experience, and it will be in the Adirondack Mountains from Wednesday, June 5th until Friday, June 7th. And any senior class member who is willing to go and has helped participate in fundraising or just has an interest in spending time with their friends can go. We have Mr. Roswell, Mr. Flaherty, Ms. Sinclair, Mrs. Patterson, and Mr. Haskins right now are all willing to go as chaperones, and that list is definitely going to grow as we keep getting closer to the date. And so far, the roof cost, the highest the cost will go, is $300, and that will include rafting, which is optional, so that'll be whitewater rafting, lodging, light breakfast, dinners, and snacks. And so lunch and shopping are on their own, and if you choose not to go whitewater rafting, the price will go is $250. So currently on May 11th, we have the craft fair, which is going to be run by the senior class, and any senior who goes and helps set up, helps participate, the money that is made at that event will be split up between all the seniors and will lower their cost for the trip. And then we're also doing a separate fundraiser within the high school it's a meat stick, country's meat stick fundraiser, and all the proceeds will also go to the senior trip. And then previously, junior year we've done fundraisers, sophomore year we've done fundraisers, so just splitting up that money to everybody who's helped fundraise to lower that price, which will hopefully happen. It should happen for every student. So the max of the price will go is $300. And then when we're there, breakfast, snacks, and dinner are provided every single day. Lunches will be on every student's own, but it will be all-inclusive for any dietary restrictions or allergies or anything that might happen. And as I said, we're planning on whitewater rafting with a licensed rafting outfitter. That is optional, so if you choose to not go rafting, you can either go into the town or you can go shopping. There's hiking, there's kayaking, canoeing, and every opportunity will be with a chaperoned adult. And lots of team bonding activities will happen along the trip. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Brian, do you have any idea how many seniors are interested at this point in time?
Well, the permission for them at home, there was a paper that you could send back showing interest in going on the trip. And right now we have about 22, and the deadline is not, we're still receiving papers back, but at this time we have 22 people that have shown interest.
Thanks.
It's a little difficult to hear, so forgive me for asking, but so the senior class has covered the expenses on by yourself?
Yeah, yes.
There's no extra cost to the district?
No funds.
Super, thanks.
So I'll clarify that there may be some expenses with respect to transportation and the driver and things like that, but nothing that's out of pocket per se. And obviously staff members that are willing to go, it's work. It's not a camping trip for them. It's a chance to enjoy our seniors. It's a chance for the camaraderie and the send off. But it's exhausting. It's a lot of work, and honestly, I think there are group of students that are worth it, but the staff members are going to put their time in and then some. So that's the cost. Not monetary, but more of the, hey, if we send a driver and we have accommodations and things like that we need to
just want to say you certainly have gone into great detail in your planning. You've been very thorough. I'm impressed. I hope you enjoy your trip.
So I think I'm going to address this to our superintendent. So we would have staff and buses for transportation, because that was one of my questions.
Well, we're gonna sit down and look at it again once we get the final numbers. So last year, we chartered a bus and provided our seniors with a coach. This year, we're gonna look at that, and we're gonna see what's the best benefit for them with respect to transporting them, you know, whether it's our driver in our bus or whether we charter with a motor coach. But we wanted to go through the formality of this because it is an investment and it's a substantial commitment, because, you know, we treat them like they're our children, you know, and when you send them overnight and you send staff out, you always want to make sure you're taking every precaution. But we're going to sit down and weigh our options. Do we send a motor coach and provide the transportation that way, or do we send one of our school buses?
100 years ago, when I was still working here, I went on the first camping trip, and I think I did 5. It's a lot of fun. I hope it works out for you. And it is exhausting. But it was worth it.
I think it's a marvelous thing for you to be able to do. Some of you probably been together for 13 years. And now you'll soon be going off in your separate directions. It's just a great time to get together. I'm happy for that.
If you need some chaperones, we might join you.
Thank you.
I just want to say how proud I am of our entire senior class for taking the lead on this, showing their agency, getting out there, talking to their classmates, coming here and presenting. It really shows what we do as a district K-12. So thank you.
We come to public access. Tina, here's Tina. Couldn't find you, Tina. Has anyone signed up to speak?
No.
No? All right, thank you. Tonight, we need to vote on the board members for the BOCES board. So if you look at on your agenda, number 4, number and A, you will find there are 3 seats that are vacant or their term is up on the board, and there are 3 candidates. But we need to have a motion and approve each one for our vote from this board. Thank you for coming. I'm not sure I know the middle one, but we certainly know Pam Pendleton, and who was a longtime teacher in this district, and Lynn Gay. If you've been at any of the 4 county or both these things, you know Lynn is a very active person. Does anyone know the O.J. Shaler? I'm sure how to pronounce that. Do you, Linda?
O.J. Salem is very active on the board. She's been on the BOCES board for a number of years, and she's very active on the legislative committee. So I've gotten to know her. All 3 of them are incumbents. They'll be having another term. I would nominate all of them if I could and be the first one to do. Just great to work with.
Thank you. Thank you for that input. seat number 1. A motion, please.
I'd like to nominate Pam Pendleton for a position on the BOCES. BOCES Board of Education.
Is there a second?
I second.
Paul, there is a second to the nomination of Pam Pendleton. Is there any discussion? Is there a vote then to cast one vote for Pam Pendleton for a seat on the Wayne County BOCES Board? All in favor? Motion is carried. Seat 2. Is there a motion, please? Linda?
I nominate O.J. Saylor for that seat, please.
Is there a second to that motion? Tina? All right, there has been a motion and seconded to cast one vote. Then for O.J. Saylor, to fill the vacant seat on the Wayne County BOCES Board. All in favor? Motion is carried. Seat number 3. A motion, please. Is there a motion? Paul?
Nominate Lynn Gay for a seat on the board.
Lynn Gay. Is there a second? John? Discussion? Is there a motion? This is again to cast one vote for Lynn Gay. All in favor? Motion is carried. Then we go to B, which is 4B. And this is a motion to approve the 2024-25 tentative administrative budget of the Wayne County Finger Lakes Board of Cooperative Education Services, BOCES. Is there a motion, please? John, and a second? Shelley? Any discussion? Paul?
Linda, would you be able to address this at all?
I'm sorry?
I'm asking if Linda could address this at all, because I don't know whether this is an increase or decrease, as appropriate.
As it's been presented, any increase was something that was a fixed cost. And this is the administrative portion, not the entire budget. If that, yeah.
Any other discussion?
I don't sign the check, so I don't know.
Any other discussion? Then all in favor of approving the 24-25 tentative BOCES budget as presented? Motion is carried. We come now to the consent agenda, number 5. The consent agenda goes through page 5. Motion please to approve the consent agenda presented tonight. Tina and Linda, second. Discussion. All in favor of approving the consent agenda? Motion is carried. Turn to page 5, number 6. These are policies, 6A. Paul, is there anything you want to say about these? Well, we need to put them on the floor first. This is a second read, is it not? Yes. A motion please to approve the policies. Paul and Shelley. Is there any discussion? Paul, is there anything you want to say about them?
No.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the policies presented? Motion is carried. to page 6. Is there board member requests, comments, or discussion tonight? Anything anyone wants to say? Paul?
I'd just like to actually ask a question. I think the budget has come out now, is that correct? Mr. Bolton, is that the budget?
The budget from the state? Yes.
Okay, and how did that pan out to whatever projection was?
That's a loaded question. So what I would say is that we're in better shape than we anticipated. The swing shows us off about $300,000. So the districts that were in a hold harmless state, those districts have had their funding restored, but the pool of money didn't really necessarily grow. The distribution was just spread out. So we were projecting a deficit of $442,000 at one time overall with our aid. That has been restored, so we're probably a positive $293,000 approximately. So the swing benefit for us is about $775,000 or $750,000. But again, we're cautious with that. So it's a promissory note in the spring. But like we mentioned in one of the previous workshops, it's the governor's proposed budget, the legislature, they negotiated it out. So the consequences to us per se weren't as detrimental as we initially thought. So if everything holds true, we're up about $300,000 from where we projected. So about $775,000 overall positive. But compared to last year, it's about $293,000 more aid. That's just a generic thing. It's not the specific aid categories of foundation aid or transportation. It's just in general. So in layman's terms. So not bad, but again, the pool of money that's spread out across the state, it's only so big. But the districts that were really getting beat up with that full health harmless, that aid piece that's been restored. So that's positive for some of our counterparts in the county.
I mentioned this at our workshop, but because we did get an increase in our state aid from what we projected, would we want to consider reducing our tax levy?
I wouldn't advise that at this point in time because, again, it's a promise, and we've seen under previous administration, they approve it in June and when things are moving along, and then we've had to make mid-year cuts to staff. So it's not enough that I would say it's going to have a detrimental impact on our community, but I think with respect to the sound financial planning, if that aid's taken away, the consequences and potential costs would be detrimental to us.
Linda?
I don't know, maybe Gary can help me with this, but I do know that there are good news, hopefully.
Anyone else? I would remind you that coming up in May, on the 16th is the annual Fort County meeting. And that if you want to go to that, you need to let Tina know so she can send your reservations in. And that Tina also gave everybody a sheet of upcoming events. There's a lot going on, so if you can make any of those, please do. Yes, anyone else? That completes that. Is there any good news that we need to hear tonight? Paul?
So I grabbed my good news folder. Unfortunately, it's the wrong year. So I could give you the good news from last April. Yeah, actually, Superintendent, I'd like to lean on you again, please, because I know you have big children. On our website, there's 5 students that can I help you remember, try to, I remember all the details. There's 5 students that
discussion? All in favor of adjourning? Motion is carried. We are adjourned.